To our distinct.
Good afternoon. Incredible privilege, real, people-centered. We have people like complicated families.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hello? Yes, I can. All right, so
To our distinguished speakers. Wow, Brenda, you're so beautiful. Thank you for this honor. Your profile is heavy and we can't wait to hear from you. So a little background then, evening. Evening is also representing purity. So evening, thank you. Thank you for very short notice accepting to do this. Now to the background on ladies in tech and leadership. Number one is an all-female leaders group that aims to do things in an unusual or impactful, fun way. We step out of March, International Women's Day, because the rhetoric, the presentation, the speeches are just going to drown whatever we have to demonstrate. So Ladies in Tech was a vision that came about because we realized that there are too many beautiful, influential, inspiring, transformational ladies who are doing amazing things in tech that are a little bit shy to step forward and share their stories, connect and create an atmosphere where we can just relax. After all the speeches, we want to relax and say, hey sis, why is your skin popping like this? Like I was asking Latifa yesterday, or was it this morning? And how do you balance this? Why are your nails always so, after all the serious conversations, we want to do that over canopies and some wine and some karaoke. Not a weakness. So we have to step out of the conventional march and just douse all the noise and gather to say, how do we do this? So while we're being serious, absolutely serious about those impactful stories that will help me reframe my thoughts, that will help me step out of my comfort zone and be a leader indeed, whether I'm wearing a label or not, we decided that, look, let's put it all in an atmosphere of fun, where we can bond, where we can become sisters. Collaborators are not competitors. Am I making sense? Yeah. So that is the main objective of Edison Consulting, Ladies in Tech and Leadership. That's where we come.
Good afternoon. I'm not tech, so I never trust things are going to work because I have to make them work. So I always bring, I got to get better, right? But you heard I've been working how many years? 75. So I'm old school. So you'll just appreciate that sometimes I get very nervous. You said let's just discuss about the nails, the Gucci bag. Get very nervous. Will the Wi-Fi work? Will this work? So let me just come ready, okay? So good afternoon, ladies. Wow, the Nigerian ladies, you know how to show up. You do. The Kenyan ladies, we need to do better. Because even Kanga and Kikoi can look beautiful when it's... But then we get nervous if we go to the office dressed with headgear, etc., because then everybody will spend all their time looking at us instead of listening to us. So we all have something to learn. We have something to learn, my friends from Nigeria, my sisters, to be able to stand here today. Women in tech, the power of women in tech and in leadership. And as I look across the room, as I look beyond the beauty, I see that this is a room filled with purpose, with talent, and with vision. And I see the bright future. A future where we don't just talk about being female, but we talk about being bold. We talk about being tech-enabled. We talk about our values. And we also talk about being globally relevant. Why we in Africa are special. I'll also start by saying with a confession, I did not walk into leadership. I've worked many years, so I don't want to say I've been a leader for many years, but actually you are. Everybody in this room is a leader, okay? I never had a master plan, so forgive me. I didn't have a plan. But I walked with myself and I walked with conviction that I could do things. But I also walked with many questions. In the early years, I used to ask myself, how will I thrive in this space? How will I thrive in this meeting, in this boardroom, where I once was the only woman? And often, many years ago, I was the youngest in the room. But that's not today. I'm the eldest in the room. And so I still have questions, because guys are going to come up with some AI-enabled stuff, so I have to keep myself relevant. But I also had to ask myself, how will I lead authentically in systems that weren't always designed for me? So the world today is not designed for me to come with these, but I'll still walk in with it because it was designed for me, my comfort. I also have to ask myself, how will we continue to innovate? And how will we do it for Africa? Because the globe is asking very many difficult questions about those of us in Africa. And also ask myself, how will I do it anchored in my purpose? And also importantly, in my faith. And these, for us ladies, are not abstract questions. They are realities. They are my lived realities over many years. And perhaps they could be yours. Sorry, this mic also has this funny thing, and I don't know if I'm meant to speak in it. It's got my lipstick. Anyway, so let me talk about leading from boardrooms to breakthroughs to actually my journey. I actually began my career in brand communications, marketing, and sales. And I had to learn how to shape the narrative, but deliver commercial value. Ladies, know the numbers. Know the numbers. From selling sausages, so that chama sausage, I said, I hope there'll be one left so that I can have it after I spoke. I worked for a company called Farmer's Choice. I moved to Diageo, which you guys will know as Guinness Nigeria, and then to GE, and now to Terrific. So I moved across industries. I have been in aviation. I have been in healthcare, renewable energy, infrastructure. But through this, I learned how to build coalitions at the corporate level, at the board level, but also just in my own ecosystem. Who are the people who will walk with you? I've learned how to navigate regulators, but also how to inspire teams across 12 African markets. At GE, I led the business strategy for East Africa. I also chaired, globally, our Diversity and Inclusion Council for all markets outside of North America. And guess what? Trump has said that's not important. So we can pivot all the time. But I also, through that, witnessed firsthand how inclusive leadership, and we're very good at this, ladies, inclusive leadership transforms businesses and can transform lives. Because we know, as daughters, as sisters, as wives, as mothers, you don't choose your family. So you learn to be inclusive and how to deal with them. And we can do that at work as well. and we can transform lives the way we transform our families. Today, I serve as the CEO of a special economic zone, Kenya's first privately owned special economic zone purely for business services. And at this zone, we're building Africa's next innovation and finance hub. But most importantly, it is one that puts talent, opportunity, and sustainability at the center. Most importantly, talent, job creation. Has it been easy? Any one of these stints? No. Has it been worth it? Every one of these stints? Absolutely. Every single time. I have walked into rooms, and possibly still do today, where I was being spoken about before I was being spoken to. And I've had to prove, not once, not twice, you prove and you reprove my own credibility. But guess what? I kept showing up. I kept showing up. With preparation, prepare. With purpose. And with prayer. Because every no taught me I need to innovate, I need to become better. Every challenge inspired my lead. And every season of uncertainty just deepened my faith. So how do we lead? How do we break barriers? Let's talk about the power, the kind of power women bring to leadership. We bring power rooted in empathy, not rooted in ego. Power grounded in collaboration, not in how we will control. We innovate because we want to grow markets. We innovate because we want to solve human problems. We want to democratize access. We want everybody to have a good time, to be well, to be listened to. So we know we can build inclusive systems. At GE, I helped to shape energy projects that powered schools and hospitals. And I helped to build solutions that powered precision health and safer grid systems. And the truth is that innovation is never inclusion if it's incomplete, people-centered transformation to your communities. My Nigerian sisters, we have people like Ngozi Okonjo at the WTO. It has not been easy for her. She stewards trade and diplomacy on the global stage in a very difficult world today. And she is one of many unsung heroes. Those who educate, those who code, those who give care, those who create change, women. We women were not anomalies. We are there. We are actually architects. So how do we lead as a woman in Africa? Let's be honest. Leading as a woman in Africa is actually beautiful. Look at us, beauty. But it is so complex. We operate in evolving systems. We are expected to be assertive, but also very agreeable. We are expected to be visionary, but never too ambitious. We are expected to juggle all expectations, the home, the career, the community, the church, the culture, and still show up whole and beautiful. Huh? It's a lot. Huh? Huh? In my own journey, I have had to lead through very high stakes negotiations. I've had to lead in global boardrooms. I've had to sort out large scale infrastructure projects. I have led during crisis. From that COVID pandemic disruption to various market shocks which we see today, often with no playbook. Nobody did it before us. But you move with unwavering conviction. Complicated
Yes, we
family.
can.
And you
It
ask,
is their
so what
steadfast
grounds
support
you?
how do you
that
do
has
it?
carried me through transitions,
Ladies, whichever phase you're
relocations,
in,
and very many moments
whisper
about
a simple prayer.
Behind every woman in leadership is often a circle of silent strength. The spouses, the siblings, the mentors, your church crew, even former colleagues, who will remind us of our light when the world questions it. Those who know us. And what makes women in tech and their leadership powerful? It's because you build with a greater perspective. You design with inclusion. You lead with impact in mind. And so at Terrific SEZ, people will say, what are you doing? You're just constructing offices. You're using incentives. No. I'm constructing opportunity. I'm constructing places where there will be women-led enterprises. I am giving a place for youth to thrive and where global businesses will bring their foreign direct investments and they will thrive. We're building a pipeline for Africa's digital economy, and we're doing it with women at the helm. Bring those ladies with you. Tech needs that voice, not just as diversity metrics, not a tick at the box, but because you're the ones who drive innovation. You don't even know it's innovative. Who said we could eat lunch at 3 o'clock? Maybe somebody here is on intermittent fasting, but we'll call it innovation. But when leaders are women and they lead in tech, they're not just building platforms, they're building ecosystems. And often we ask the hard questions. Who are we leaving behind? How can we solve for not just efficiency, but for equity? We lead and we create movement, not just moments, not just a photo shoot. We lead for the future in a sustainable way. So here we are all today. How do we have some sort of collective call to action? I heard the first call is, let's save for the next place we're gonna go. Nairobi's beautiful, you've just come here. There's more to Nairobi, and there's Mombasa, and there's upcountry. So keep coming back, okay? This is just one destination. Nigerians, you can come back. But here is my challenge. What do we do with this moment? This very special moment where we've come together. I'm going to give a challenge and also an invitation. Take up space. Even if you're not ready, raise your hand. Anytime you're asked, is there a question? Because whatever you're going to say is valid. Don't be scared. Build opportunity where none exists. Use your seat to bring others to the table. Use your seat to bring others to the table. What do I mean? Tomorrow I also have the opportunity, I'm speaking at another event. So I go to the organizers and I say, can I bring a few people with me, 1 or 2? And I use that to people who I'm mentoring and say, come to this event. But they say to me, it's for CEOs. I said, exactly, that's why you're coming. I'm giving you a seat at the table. Nothing else, a seat at the table. So use where you are to bring others to the table. Let your ambition breathe. Let your ambition breathe. It is not arrogance to dream boldly. People will say, oh, they're so arrogant. No, I call it obedience to your potential. Obedience to your potential. Do you know your potential? Actually, you don't. There's no limit. Use your voice. When you see wrong, speak. Ask. Your silence does not serve you or the next generation. And we have seen it here in Kenya. Our silence has not served the next generation. Prioritize your own peace, your own wellness. Ladies, rest is not a reward. It is your restoration, and you need it. And as I close, to every woman in this room, you're not just a woman in tech, you're a pioneer. You're not just building apps or new ventures, you're building futures for people. You're not just climbing ladders made of wood, you're building the forest around you. So show up, speak up, stand tall. You are enough, you are worthy, you are called, and your leadership is actually the breakthrough someone else is waiting for. Thank you. And your leadership is actually the breakthrough someone else is waiting for. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. I think we had some to energize us here and there. Afternoon, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Yes, that's more like it. Thank you so much for the organizers of this event for, bringing me along to share my story. I was not supposed to be here. It was purity, but last minute, meetings here and there. And I had yesterday to prepare for this session. So imagine walking out of this session, going back home, and you don't have Brenda's contact. Right? So I want us to do a short exercise. Grab a small piece of paper from the notebook that you have and write your first name on that piece of paper. Let's try and do this in under a minute. Write your first name only. No numbers, no phone numbers, no email addresses, just your first name. First name only. Are we done? Just tear up that paper, crumble it up. Make sure no one can read that name. Crumble it up, fold it together, tie it like this. Do like this. So no one can see the name on it. So I'm gonna call Joanne to come and help me. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put all those papers inside a basket. Well, we have a Dell one here. And we'll shuffle the names. And then the basket will be taken around and you get to pick whatever piece of paper your hands land on. It's okay. It's okay. If you're 3 Yemis, that's fine. You stand up at some point. Okay, all the 3 Yemis. So let's put our papers in here. And then once we have all the papers, the basket will go around and we'll pick a piece of paper from the basket. Whatever name you land on, that's the person you're going to network with at the end of this session. Okay. All right? That's the person you'll start with, because we are so many and you can talk to so many other people. That's the first person you'll start with. Get to have a conversation, find out who they are. Whoever lands on Brenda, I think even those who don't have who don't land on your name will be at your doorstep. Are we done? We are done? All right. So let's do it now. In Kenya, we say kufinish kumalo. Right here, right now. So pick a piece of paper I hope you shuffled them well. Okay. Yeah, let's open the papers and find out who. You didn't get? Oh. Okay. All right. I think everyone has a paper. Everyone has a paper? So I'll start with this table. What? Herself? So I'll start with this table. I say the name out loud of the person you picked. Let's start with the lady here. You picked yourself? You need to have a meeting with yourself. Yes. Oh, you picked your name. Oh, yeah. We'll have a one-on-one together. Yeah. Next.
We can't change.
No, you can't change.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You can't change.
Carol, I work with Microsoft and I picked diploma.
There you go. Carol, who did you pick? Catherine, sorry.
I picked Yemi as a bube.
Ah, yes. Mark your person. Next. Abiola.
Paulina.
I hope you don't know each other.
We do.
Okay, maybe there's something you haven't talked about in a while. Next, here.
My name is Blessing and I picked Kelly.
Next.
My name is Yemi. I work with a certification body in West Africa. I picked Carol.
Carol. All right.
My name is Bikomo and I picked Candy.
Candy. She's right behind you. Ramat. Ramat, and yourself?
Yeah, my name is Ramat. I work with Beraki, and I picked Fiona.
Fiona. All right. Mariam, who did you pick?
My name is Mariam. Two colleagues, and I got Yemi Olivia.
Oh, that's me.
Joanne, who did you pick?
I picked
Blessing. Yemi?
The Lockies. And I picked Brenda.
She landed on the gold mine. What about Brenda? Lavine. There. All right, next to Brenda.
My name is Abiola. My name is Kenny. I picked Abiola.
Okay. Candy?
Hi, my name is Kenny. I work with, I picked Latifa.
Your neighbor. Latifa, who did you pick?
I picked
Mariam. All right. What about the ladies? Ooh, another landmine, I know. Gold mine, rather.
My name is Fiona from Mediapal. I picked Joanne.
So those are the people you'll start networking with once we are done with this session. All right. So I am going to share a bit of my story, and I have a favorite phrase or quote or saying that has played a very big role in my life over the years. I landed on this quote when I was just getting into the IT space, and it goes like this. Sometimes you become the exception and not the rule. Sometimes you become the exception and not the rule. And this to me is about breaking barriers as women in technology. There are so many barriers, so many rules, that are out there that us women have come across in whatever in whatever environment we are in. And some of these rules have, or misconceptions or ideas, or, just things that have stopped us on our track. We've had grand ideas, grand ambitions, and sometimes, you sit back and you're like, I need to get past this. And once you break those barriers, for me, it means you've become the exception. That's how I look at it. So I'll give you a bit of my background, how I got, as a woman in tech, how I got into IT, and especially so in the multinational space. And this goes back to 13 years back, I would say, when I was trying to join EMC, a company called EMC. I think most of the people in this room are aware of EMC, that was eventually acquired by Dell. And I was applying for a technical role, service engineer, okay? This was really new to me. I didn't even know what I was getting. Previous to that, I was just doing contract jobs here, MIS, help desk, not to downplay the role, those roles, but it was not as intense as what I came to find out, okay? And I remember I went through the cycle of interviews and got to the last phase, and the hiring manager, who turned out to be my boss now after that, called me and told me, you know what, Evelyn, congratulations, you've landed the role. You're going to join us in our organization. But there's something he said to me. He threw in a spanner and he's like, but for this role, it's a technical role. And ideally, the biases and all that, it will be ideal for a male, for a man. It's a service engineer. You're going to the data center, you're going to fix things, you're going to replace hardware parts, you're going to do software patches, you're going, all that. And he told me, Evelyn, there's one thing I want to tell you, that do not expect me to treat you differently from your male colleagues because you're female. Yes, the silence. That's the silence I had at that time. And we finished the whole process. I went back home and I was just reflecting on that. And I was like, what did I get myself into? And then I remembered the money and I'm like, I am going to do this, The money that they were offering at that time. Anyway, it was a motivator. But what I'm trying to say is sometimes we'll be scared. We'll be scared to get into situations. We'll be scared to pursue, sometimes we find ourselves in situations, and instead of embracing the situation as an opportunity, we can easily fall back and say, I cannot do this. Taking that first step, overcoming your fear. When you're faced with fear, there's a prayer. There's a prayer part that also I want to bring in, borrowing from Brenda. You pray about it, and then you also try and bring yourself together and tell yourself that you're capable of this. All right, you are capable of whatever it is that you land yourself into. Sometimes it's by accident. You don't know, you have no clue. Sometimes you go looking for things and, you're aggressively looking for an opportunity or a venture or something. And then you get there and you want to backtrack because you're like, oh, I was not ready, But don't fall for that. Overcoming fear is the first step. That first step that we take like this is the first step to growth, to greatness, and all that. So moving on to, after a few months, I got into the job and I got mentors, I got training, on-the-job training, and all that. And now it was time for me to be assimilated into the role, like hands-on, going to customers and actually doing these activities, like going to a data center and fixing a part, or, all that. So I also had those biases, like you go to a customer site and customers are looking at you and they're like, because previously you had been going with shadowing your colleague and all that, and customers are looking at you like, no, you can read it on someone's face, when they're like, I'm not comfortable, I'm not comfortable. But what I did, because there's no way I was going to turn back. I had just landed a role, and I convinced myself that I have to do everything, to win over these customers and to have them, allow me into their space. And what I did was, I remember an instance where I faced that actually, and I had to bring in my male colleague to come with me to site so that, it will be convincing enough. I will tell him, you're just going to be there, and me, I'm going to execute, just building the confidence with the customer, showing up, demonstrating your capabilities, because, I had gone through so much training and all that, demonstrating your capability and just building that confidence over the years. Fast tracking to my current role, as the nice lady there said, Adeshewa, I hope I got that right. My current role is to optimize the customer experience for our customers. And by this, this involves bringing different stakeholders together. Different stakeholders, top that up with processes, with tools, and everything. And just to make sure that you're bringing all the moving parts together for a common goal. And the common goal is to make sure that we are serving the customers right. We are serving the customers right, and we are making sure that everyone is hands on deck. So for me, this is where I bring in the leadership context in my role. Just the aspect of bringing together all those things to make sure that the customer derives the best outcome from our support process, or how they engage with the support, or how they navigate within our support function. Just the fact that I am bringing in those all those moving parts together to make sure that there's a successful outcome is leadership in itself. So what do I want to say? I want to say that leadership is diverse. Leadership is diverse. It's not just limited to our predefined definitions of what leadership is. To someone else out there, leadership is probably just managing people. You have people who are, you're managing, you're a team, you say you have a team that is below you and you're managing people, that is leadership. To someone else, it's probably signing checks. And you're like, if you're not signing checks, you're not a leader, But I want to say leadership is diverse. It's diverse in the sense that even in our places of work, where we work, or whatever business or ventures that we are engaged in, you as an individual, you're self-directing, you probably don't have a team under yourself, such as myself. But I can't say that I'm not a leader, because there's a leadership aspect in every context of every person. In whatever area that you're in, there's an aspect of leadership. So we embrace that. Let's not be limited by our definitions of what leadership should be or what it should look like. It's diverse. It's diverse in the sense that we hold different capabilities, we hold different responsibilities, and harnessing everything as an individual to impact where you are currently at, or what you're currently doing, what you're currently engaged in. That is leadership in itself. All right? And having said that, I want to, pick your mind and from a few of us here, and just get to understand what is our view of leadership, if I may. Any volunteer who can give us, a slight snippet of what they understand about leadership and leadership in their context, and how, they're taking up leadership in their space. Any volunteer? Volunteers. I can hear you.
For me, leadership is inclusivity and just servicing all stakeholders, and not just within the firm, also around your community.
All right.
Just impacting everyone around you.
All right.
Yes.
Impacting everyone around you. That's from Lavin. Next person. Your colleague there.
I've used AI.
Technology is part of our life now.
Yeah. Leadership is guiding and helping others to work together towards a common goal. It's like being the captain of a team. You don't just tell people what to do, you also support them, inspire them, and make sure everyone is moving in the right direction. In even simpler terms, a leader shows the way, a leader listens and helps, a leader sets a good example.
All right. A leader, so many definitions of what a leader should be like. Who is a leader to you?
I think AI has already told us what a leader is, but to me, leadership is influencing people towards a common goal, whether it's in finance or tech or whatever field, but guiding people or being a light towards where they're going to is being a leader to me.
All right.
Thank you.
Another different view of what leadership is. Let's share our ideas. We are such a small, intimate quorum. Let's talk.
Hi,
let's have
everyone.
a chat.
Okay, so for me, leadership is service, right? So you must be able to serve people, to let them, right? So, and also you must be visionary, and easily adapt. So it's a big cap, right? And you need to understand what sort of leadership that is needed in wherever. Every environment is peculiar to its own. So understanding the how people wants to be led is also key, in the type. Because if you're just saying, "Oh, I'm a leader and blah blah blah," this is my style, right?
Yeah.
Your style does not cut it in every scenario you find yourself. So you need to understand the people that you need to lead, right? So hence, it's fundamental is service.
All right. Leadership is about service. What does leadership look like to you? Sorry, I keep forgetting your name. Yemi, yes, okay. Yemi and Yemi, okay. After her is Yemi. After Kendi is Yemi.
So hi everyone, I'm Kendi. As a young woman in tech, I view leadership as service or excellence, whereby to lead others, I have to lead myself. So it means if I'm serving other people, I first start by serving myself, which means in excellency, I need to be excellent in what I'm doing so that I can be able to lead the rest of the people or any other person who is being impacted. And when you're leading, you don't have to have a role, but in just being excellent in whatever you're doing and doing it in the right way, people can learn from that and they can be inspired from that. So from my position, that's how I view leadership and what I can actually give out there.
Oh, okay, great, Kendi. Pass the mic on to Yemi. For Kendi, leadership is about you lead yourself first, and then you can lead others, if that's what I got correct.
Thank you. So for me, I look at it as a leader. Everybody had said it one way or the other. A leader must know the way, show the way, and ready to lead the way. And then touching on Yemi's point too, not all the time you lead from the front.
Yeah.
Good leaders, effective leaders, sometimes, most often than not, lead from behind.
Yeah.
So they don't strike you as a boss, but you're working together or you're achieving these objectives together. So at every point in time, it's a service.
Exactly.
Thank you.
So you can lead in the background, not always on the forefront. All right. Anyone else with a view who wants to share their view about leadership?
For me, I think leadership is there's a vision, you're working towards it. Sometimes you have to bring people along to achieve that vision, but other times it might just be you leading yourself in that direction.
Okay. All right. So having had all those views about leadership, I want to summarize my takeaways from my story and from other stories that I've had before me on leadership. And I want to break it down into two. Acknowledge your capabilities. No one else is going to come and, yes, you might get people telling you, oh, you're so good at this and you're so good at that. But if you don't acknowledge it yourself, then you'll not be visible to yourself. If you're not visible to yourself, how are you going to have self-impact? if you're not visible to yourself? Visibility to yourself is very important. Acknowledge what you're capable of, how you're able to contribute, and all that. Visibility to others, to me, looks like, how are you showing up? What are you showcasing? What are you bringing to the table? What are your ideas? What are your ambitions? Okay? Visibility to others. We have to show up. We have to show up, especially for us women. I will take you back to the context of my story when I was hired for that service engineer role, and I had to show up in so many ways. I had to make sure that whatever I bring to the table is acceptable, first of all. It resonates with others as well, and for customers to get to a level where now they're like, they're welcoming, they're accepting, and funny enough, they also start supporting you. They start walking the journey with you. They're looking at you and they're like, this person, I can see what they're trying to do. I can see what they're trying to do, and I can most probably play a role in their journey. So we have to show up. We have to show up. We have to be visible to others. If you're not visible to others, as Brenda that had that question about the boardroom, yes, about the boardroom and how we are. I think it was this lady here, the boardroom, and how you can showcase yourself. How you can showcase yourself and show others that, you want that leadership position. You have to be visible. Visibility is key for women, for us women, and not just women alone, for everyone. If you want to move ahead, you have to show people what you're bringing to the table. There is also the second one, that is building confidence to be in the front line. It takes a lot from us. Some of us, especially us women, we have to put in twice the effort as men. Have to have meaningful innovation, because we are in the tech space. We have to have meaningful innovation. And what do I mean by this? We have to impact in a positive way, be part of the process. Technology is growing with us. It's growing with us, and we are getting to a place where in the next few years, actually, I think for most of the roles that people or women, the women who are coming after us will be applying for, they will be tech related, like there will be prerequisites for tech, and to fill up that space, we have to drive impact. In the current spaces that we are in, we have to drive impact. We have to drive impact to make sure that we are leaving a footprint, so that when others look back and they will identify this with Catherine, they will identify this with Yemi, and they will know that Catherine and Yemi left their footprints behind, and this is what we need to follow. Examples, right? So that was for the women who are looking to get into leadership. Those three. There was visibility, building confidence, to be in the front line, and driving impact. So last but not least, for the women who are already in leadership, I will say there are 4 things. Those of us amongst us in this room, in the capacity that we are in, we have to inspire. First of all, let's embrace the act of elevating the next young girl or woman into the spaces that we currently occupy. All right? And by doing this, how are you going to achieve this? In my opinion, you first inspire. You can inspire in your current positions where you are, be it at your corporate roles, be it at your business ventures, whatever space you occupy. Inspire. Whatever actions that you take will inspire someone else out there. All right? Another young girl will look at someone, one of us in this room, and they'll be like, oh my God, I want to be like this person. What do they do? They emulate from seeing what, the actions that you take, the decisions that you make. So let's inspire those who are coming after us. Influence. we are not just inspiring, we are influencing. You know, as we go along, we want to pull people along, and join our, join our space. So we are also influencing those who are coming after us. Mentoring and coaching. I believe if you're in a space of influence, and you're able to inspire others, you can mentor where resources allow. So to some people, by the way, mentoring just means, I'll just inspire you and that's enough for me. That's the capacity I have, But let's try as much to mentor and coach those who are coming after us. That's the only way we are going to keep the ball rolling. As technology grows, we are keeping the numbers of women in tech. They keep growing, and we keep pulling whoever that we're able to pull and sustain and maintain by mentoring and coaching. And last but not least, partner. If you're in a position to partner with a mentee or someone who has come to you, for guidance, or you look at some of these people, the young girls and the young women who are aspiring to get into the spaces that we occupy, and you see potential. You see they have the skill sets, they are upskilling, they are building, they are working on their soft skills, and if they are in a space where you feel like they can fit into whatever gaps that that are available, or opportunities that are available, then partner with some of them. Partner with them, work with them. That's the only way we are going to make sure that we keep growing the numbers in IT and holding the next generation to follow after us. Because in the years to come, we are also not going to be there. We'll be like Brenda. We'll be moving out of this space. I'll not be a service account manager anymore, and there'll be another service account manager, a lady. So we want to make sure that we take up this responsibility. We take up the responsibility and make sure that we are taking action. And that brings me to the end of my session. I hope I didn't bore you with context.
But you're working here like you want to be someone else.